Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to ReThink. So we've twice now found solutions to puzzles in the past where we have extra pieces missing and there's multiple solutions to the puzzles, which would be great and all if that was playing up to the name of the title of ReThink and that there was actually multiple solutions you were supposed to find for every puzzle. Unfortunately, I think the game would have to tell me that. It would have to give me, say, a gold, silver, bronze award for every single solution that is available. So, what are we? Where are receptors? Oh, receptors are way down this section. Which... let's start with this and just see if that isn't one solution, and then almost certainly that needs to point that way, and then let's see, probably going that direction. The bigger issue, unfortunately, really comes down to just the fact that the solutions feel very much like I'm stumbling upon them without actually having to put any thought into them, and so it's making the game feel more like a grind experience, or just too easy of an experience in general, than a puzzle game that you would expect it to be. Let's see what happens if we put green here. Yeah, that looks good. But we'll want to get, I think, all the colors together. So do that. So we only have one receptor left. We have the red and the white here. This is a turquoise signal going into the white receptor, as well as a turquoise signal being added to the red. And that is just way too bright. It's getting blindingly bright there. That's not being used at all. There is potentially room for entering puzzles with some objects already up in the wrong places. Half solved or incorrectly solved puzzles could then have a first phase of solving puzzles where you just need to run around and solve the clean up the area before you start working on solving it. So we just need red to go in here. So how do we get red to go in here? You reflect that. And then that's it. Let's see, we have a white one here. It is getting red from the front face, and it is getting turquoise, blue, and green from the side, which is then shooting out a pure white here, a pure white here, bouncing down this way. This is our red transmitter being split, going that direction and that direction. And so this is a great example, just right off top. And maybe that's the whole idea of the green section, is that they've given you a whole bunch of puzzles where you are going to end up with extra things, and maybe that is going to make it slightly more difficult for some players who just assume that every piece needs to be used. And is it really worth my time to even try and figure out what a different solution might be? At a certain level, since we know there are at least 4 ReThink games, if not 5, and ReThink Evolved games, that there's not a good reason to replay this game back to back and try and solve puzzles multiple times in multiple ways. We're not getting achievements, it seems like, for that. We're not getting any rewards. One of the things Portal 1 did once you beat the game originally is you had some extra challenges to do puzzles in slightly modified versions, or reduce the number of steps to solve a puzzle because of using the portal gun, or reduce the amount of speed. You couldn't probably make a challenge to reduce the number of steps as far as the character stepping in this game, but you could certainly have a speed challenge or least number of items used. But yeah, I'm ready to just move on to the next puzzle. And in particular, we also know that these puzzles could get complicated fairly fast, so there isn't a great motivation around redoing stuff. Alright, we gotta do that one a second time. So that was 27. It literally was as easy as just using this and this. Now, I had talked about in previous times that it felt like maybe what you were going to do is at some point send a beam of laser energy from one room to another. I think we've hit that level. Take notice here, you've got a slit in the wall here and here for the next puzzle. So let's see if we can do this. What would be the right split? Okay. Start to play with the keyboard a little bit better. That might be helpful. Of course, this now creates a weird situation if this is part of the solution, as far as asking the question, do I really need to run back? Or is the game showing me with this hallway and this long run that there actually would be no way for these 2 previous puzzles to send a laser down here? I think it's probably showing me, or trying to show me that. And it seems pretty obvious at this level that the move is intentional. I wonder if these doors open later. I think they might. I think they might. But then there might be some weirdness too, in which I'm going to have to block off certain sections with a piece on the other side. I suspect that's what's going to happen. Well, the important move is also going to come down to I need to actually open the door and leave. Okay. Still have 2 pieces. I wonder if I could possibly spin the pieces later from the other side. I can't place a piece from the other side, but I might be able to rotate a piece. And we've got a 3-way split going this direction. Two-way split wouldn't make sense in that rotation. 3-way split doesn't make any sense that way. 3-way split doesn't make any sense that way. What if we were to place this with a 2-way split? And then replace this with a 3-way split in that direction. Yeah, it still seems like even at this point, I'm being given some real opportunity to do something more. I just don't know if I really need to do anything more. See, that needs to be purple. Where? Let's move forward and see what the next room is. Like, problem with this is is room 29. We're now breaking that and doing room 28. So we kind of need to solve room 28 fairly quickly to get back on the path of solving room 29, which looks like it's going to actually require extra beams. So yeah, it is. This room 29 could be the last puzzle, could be the second to last puzzle. Because all of a sudden it does feel like it is going to take a larger effort, a culmination of perhaps some learned skills. I'm just placing some pieces willy-nilly to try and figure out where some pieces might go. That's probably not what's supposed to happen. There's probably something closer to that. Probably something closer to that. So we have a blue one that's being split in a poor direction. It's hitting the transmitter. So what are we supposed to do with this blue beam? It actually can't do anything, can it? Let's just double check here. We have a blue transmitter. Clicking the wrong thing. We have a blue transmitter that split this way, hits nothing. Split this way, hits nothing. Split this way, hits nothing. And split this way, hits nothing. So unless this door in the middle opened up and the tree moved out of the way, or something, some reflector happened, that just does nothing at all. Do we even need blue? I think we do. Is there a way we could get blue in some other form factor? Is there literally no solution to this puzzle? These are transmitters also. That's probably right, I would guess. Shoot a green laser that way for later use. And then let's put a splitter here. That's probably right, I would guess also. We've got green toggles going that direction. Okay. So the trick must be, you're not going to send the blue that way. You're not going to send the blue that way. You've got to send it that way. Which probably means you've got to send it that way because there isn't any other direction it can go. Which probably means you're going to just send it that direction, which that doesn't make full sense. could send it that direction. What happens if I reflect it back like this? Doesn't seem like that's right. That doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem right. That could happen. Okay, so that should be 1 now. Pure white going that direction. And then the other one basically has to go this direction and has to be split. In some form. But that doesn't do anything. That's not doing anything. That's not doing anything. So maybe it's just supposed to circle back on itself. What's the point of that, though? That's not accomplishing anything. If we spin this way, it doesn't do anything either. If we do this, it doesn't do anything. If we go in this direction, maybe in the future it does something because of that. I doubt it. We're preparing certainly for this room 29 puzzle. What would be really unsatisfactory is if all of a sudden that was actually really easy. Okay. It does just kind of seem like you just need one angle. And we'll just reflect that back this way. Oh, there is a panel there. So this is a problem where I'm just having visual trouble keeping an eye on all of the spots. Which, yeah, when you're this far away and there might be a laser in the way or a tree in the way, you can't across a giant screen see that there's a gray dot. It would make more sense, frankly, if the puzzles just had unactivated light boxes or empty light boxes up to see always. So I've solved this puzzle, but I have an extra piece, which does make me wonder. And let's just look at what we're doing here. We've got the blue bouncing this way, and then merging with some red and splitting off that direction, shooting the purple to put a purple over that, which is then synergizing with the green to be white. This one is getting pure white via purple and green at sometimes, and sometimes just getting pure white, which, if any of these spots, might benefit from being split some more. I don't think any of them should be. So again, we should just rush to puzzle 29. we haven't solved it. Thought we had. We're solving it temporarily, but it's not fully locked in. We're losing our pure green here. I need a green to hit this box. Which I think we can accomplish just by doing that. So we did need to use that piece. Of course, I need to question something here. We had one extra piece over here. We have no extra piece over here, so we've probably solved this exactly the way it needs to be solved. But we may have to just run back and resolve the previous ones. Puzzle 29. In this we have 7 regular reflectors and 3 splitters. And yeah, this can't be the last puzzle, can it? Because we haven't even gotten that 4th style of puzzle reflector. So that wouldn't make any sense. This might be the puzzle we do before we get the puzzle reflector. Yeah, we want to ask a question. Can we spin? Yes, we can. So that'll come into play, I'm sure. Let's see. We want a yellow here. Right now we're getting a blue. We want a blue there. This might be a puzzle that's actually just fairly easy to solve, because you may just make it easier on yourself based on what you solved before and how you solved the ones before. It does feel like this green and this green need to be merged, and so we'll start that process. The question, I guess, is if we merge them, one of these has got to be a split. And that doesn't, in either direction, lead to the colors you'd want. Now, I'm pretty sure recursively we have to maintain the doors being open in the previous puzzles. I don't think we can cheat it in some way and solve everything. And this is the exit. This would be a great example of if you walked in front of the lasers and it stopped the beam, having that happen. The lasers in Portal were damaging, but they would frankly take such a long amount of time to kill you that you'd have to intentionally stand in front of them. For them to actually harm you. There's a lot of factors here going on. A lot of of factors. Let's see, red and yellow. Yellow would be red and green. So if we're going to have a red, how would that play out? So we made green there. It's not really what we're looking to do. It would just be way easier if these were reds being hit. But it kind of doesn't feel like you can do any other color than green here. If there was a way to solve this, it's going to be fairly crazy where you're going to have to replace the red and the green signals, which would potentially mean just resolving everything. Yeah, and if you were going to replace the red and green signals here, you'd basically have to replace this one and this one. Just doesn't seem right. And there's certainly a question to ask around all this as far as, is there possibly just a solution for puzzle 29 that does not engage or touch the other puzzles at all? And the whole thing is just one giant red herring. Or that there are multiple solutions, and while you can solve it one way, you don't have to solve it that way. Like blue. Blue would have to go either to this purple, or blue is not being used at all. Which I would lean towards suspecting blue is not being used at all, except for this full color. Purple. Going this direction makes that purple, so we don't really need that. And see, this doesn't really change, does it? Unless we just wanted to turn it off. And we can't spin this one. Well, it looks like we can. But that would be really crazy. What's the point of green? You have green here, going that direction. Have a green here going that direction. Bounce the green that way and that way. And we've got that now. Okay. So that's the solution to that part. So now it's just red. Need red. Well, maybe not. I need a yellow. So it kind of feels like this should be yellow instead of green. But how would we get red anyways? Let's ask that question. There's no way to recombine this blue. And we can't swap the values. So every indication tells me that it probably is right. Though it does just seem fairly redundant. So maybe we get red going this way, and then let's assume that was it. That'd leave me with quite a lot of extra pieces, but I still have yellow to solve. This is where the run button will come into being helpful. Okay. Red transmitter goes this way. It hits this and merges with this three-way splitter. Let's swap that with that. With maybe that. Put that there. Okay, I'm getting purple. I don't want it purple. I want red. I do want purple over there. So I am going to have to solve this whole puzzle again in a second. Maybe the move is actually to swap something like that. Although that would be totally in the wrong place. I still don't think it quite solves what we're looking for. Yeah, I don't think from this spot you can hit that. And yeah, this definitely feels like it would get very frustrating if all of a sudden you needed to go back and resolve a bunch of puzzles in the previous instances. Let's see what happens if we put that there and then got rid of that. Okay. Go back to purple. It's not really what we're looking for. Blue there. I'm just trying to clean up as much as possible. Okay, so we need so the red goes forward here and then splits. Probably means we need to swap this with this. Can this go in different directions? Alright. Is it going in a different direction that would make it matter? Almost certainly is the case that this is the direction to go. This early combination here to make it purple, it's got to be wrong. This has got to be it. But I don't know how this is all supposed to work. We've got a red and we've got a purple coming out, at least. No way to block the blue. Maybe it is splitting it up here. Yeah, it's gotta be that. It's gotta be splitting it up there. And then we gotta do something with the blue. Wasn't expecting this game to perhaps get so challenging so quick. Okay. So we've once again solved it, but in a way that doesn't really give us that purple we want. I don't think we inherently do just want the blue, but maybe we do. It's probably not the right solution, because now we have this blue and there's no way to combine it. You absolutely have to have a purple coming out of this spot. There's no way getting around that. So this three-way split. That would still unlock the door. That wouldn't. And that wouldn't. Although, weirdly for a second there it does. Blue can only really do so much, though. It's coming out of this transmitter, it's gotta hit some reflector at that point. And it's basically gotta split. And so it can either go that direction, which doesn't do anything, or go that direction. So the rest of this is just about how do we get an extra red back into itself. What happens if we beam things back into itself? Nothing. Really? Well, once again, I have found a solution that is not the right solution. It's really living up to the name ReThink at this point. Do we have it now? I believe we have. We have purple going through this spot, red going through this spot. We have blue crossing over with red to open the door. And in that case, we had no extra pieces. Okay. And then we're now just needing to add red into the yellow. Which I guess is that way. We're gonna do it by doing that and then bouncing the red all the way back to do that. And we've solved it. Although weirdly, once again, I've solved it with 2 extra pieces. And again, while there was a lot of thinking about how to get the beams in the rooms to start with, and this is certainly a different trick that we never saw in the Portal games, although I would say the Talos Principal and the Witness have similar tricks in their games. So I guess the question really we should just ask is, what were they expecting me to do otherwise? See, this is almost certainly right. And you wouldn't want to split it a different way. Purple is just through here and over here. There's one spot here which we could use an extra piece and stick there. There's one spot here which we could use an extra piece and stick there. But the only other spot is here. So, yeah. If there is a different way to solve this puzzle, I don't think I would ever figure it out. Right. And we're walking down this wall. It's perhaps somewhat important to check to see if the colors maybe have some special meaning. Purple being a combined color of blue and red. Red just being solid red. Yellow being red and green. And then white. It definitely feels like down this hallway you should be seeing all of the colors, at least 6 of them. And we made it to 30, and I don't think I saw an achievement pop up by making it to 30. It's just a blue transmitter and some aqua receivers and some splitters. Let's give it the college try, I suppose, and just see what happens very quickly. As far as trying to solve this. It feels kind of obvious that this central spot might mean something. Can we solve the other puzzle just as easily, or is it more complicated? We would want that on all the time, which does imply that that's not going to work. So what if it's a different solution for one versus the other? Seems like it probably is. Am I actually accomplishing anything though with this? May not be. I suspect that there's kind of just more of a pattern to this one. Or maybe you're just not using that at all. So this would really just come down to merging the greens and the blues together. Which I lost that. I guess this game does deserve applause in that if it is repeating audio, it is doing it in a very effective way in which I'm not recognizing that. I'm not finding the audio to be repetitive or annoying, which definitely could have been a danger in any game, particularly smaller indie games. And music selected here is definitely something I would say is a good selection of audio. It's not feeling out of place or off-putting. This whole room, however, is really a mess. It's just a lot of stuff going on. Okay. So I've somehow gotten quite a lot of this working. Just goofing around. In fact, the only thing I haven't gotten working is the one in the corner over there. This hits that and that with a combined blue and green for a while. It should probably have a stronger blue in it. My concern would be that this whole process, though, can look like it's being solved when it really isn't being solved. And that may come from the feeling that there's a pattern when there really isn't a pattern. This seems just like perfect. One cube to get two receptors, but by doing it that way, just not getting the green out of where you need it. So this has to be wrong. It could be something like this, though. It basically has to be either that or this. Now those two on the side are lit up. Are they permanently lit up? Yes. Now, is there really any reason that I need to split this and then split this back this way and then split this and split it back this way? I don't think so. Rotate that. It does that. If I rotate that. Okay. It would make a lot more sense if this was the solution. Okay. So what if we did that instead? And then what if we did that instead? It does feel like that's the solution. So, what's the last step in this? We've got our toggling blue going here and shooting off in that direction and shooting off in that direction. And it probably needs to be split. Okay. That doesn't work though. That doesn't work. That might work. But if that did work, I'd have to move this. Which also means I can't have something like this happen. I really can't just shoot something that way unless this shoots something back, which maybe it can do that. Yeah, undoubtedly this feels like this is something that's intriguing me, tricking me into thinking that there is a balanced, logical solution to this when the solution is actually very unbalanced. So we've got that lit up, that one lit up, and that one is not lit up. Okay. That stops those from being lit up. Seems right. What if we replace that with that? And what if we rotated that with that? Those two are lit up. These two over here are not lit up. There we go. Got stuck in the thing. In the lava lamp, I guess is what you'd call it. So once again, it seems almost every puzzle now we're ending puzzles and finding solutions for puzzles that have extra pieces, and it just doesn't feel very play tested. And I really would love to be able to get a general map of what this looks like otherwise, because it feels like there is supposed to be a solution here that's way more balanced than this. But yeah, it's definitely not worth the extra time to look as far as where you would place that one extra piece. So let's go forward and see if we get an achievement. We got another achievement that says after 20 comes, and so we did 30. Now we're doing 31, and we are, I suppose, in more of a orange section, which, okay. Let's go ahead and save. Yeah, I have been playing this game since the beginning, all the way through, and at this point, at 31, it's time for me to take a nap and take a break. Like, this puzzle games generally shouldn't be played in one sitting. If you can beat a puzzle game in one sitting, that's almost certainly a major problem. But yeah, not 100% sure I'm really loving ReThink. It definitely feels like it hasn't been play tested, so that does open up a possibility that the ReThink Evolved version might have a better approach to it, or maybe just has different ways in which you solve the same puzzles yet again. The Unity asset flipness of this game definitely makes it feel like a game that would have been okay in 2017, but is a little bit underwhelming in 2024. I would have frankly just liked to see graffiti or posters on the wall instead of bland walls, even if you're just going to go to the Unity asset store and like pick some random posters or random forms of graffiti. But yeah, mostly the game so far has been fine. It's just a little lackluster and a little frustrating, and oddly frustrating in the sense that I'm finding solutions that I don't feel like I should be finding. If the first time I had played Portal 1 I had found multiple solutions that were not the intended solution, then you really wouldn't have had a tight, great experience playing Portal 1. There are a couple of secret ways to solve puzzles in one of the Portal games, but you definitely are highly unlikely to have figured them out on the first playthrough, like I am now on this game. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.